Walther Bransen. Walther Bransen, also Walther Bransen, 6 May 1886, 21 October 1941, was a German physician, violinist, and composer. His pseudonyms were Will Rollins, Sam Fox, and Karl Wetter. Life. Branson was born in 1886 as Walter Abramson in Braunschweig. After studying medicine, he switched to music in the 1920s and became a student of the Russian-Swiss composer Paul Juon. He wrote operas and operettas, chamber music and incidental music, but also songs and Schlager, the latter mostly under the stage name Will Rollins. He worked with renowned lyricists such as Fritz Rotter, Robert Gilbert, and Willie Rosen. Branson published with several Berlin publishers. Popular performers ensured the circulation of his pieces, which were performed by bands such as Dajos Bilal, Otto Dobry, and Paul Godwin, performed by singers like Serge Aronovic, Austin Edgen, and Leo Monosin. Soon he was also working for the new media of gramophone, radio, and cinema. For the newly founded Berlin record company Vox, he composed a Vox Foxtrot, which the Orchestra Bernard had recorded in January 1925. It was through this company, whose building in Berlin, the Vox House, also housed the first German radio station in 1923, that his path to broadcasting led him. From June 1925, he headed the Department for Instrumental and Vocal Arts at the Deutsche Stund Gesellschaft für Drahtlose Belehrung und Unterhaltung GmbH, whose radio orchestra, also from June 1925, was conducted by Bruno Sadler-Winkler. Together with the dance teacher Walter Carlos, who also worked on the new medium of radio as a radio dance teacher, he created the German Dance d'été in autumn 1927, which was also distributed on records for 2 feature films. He was involved as a film composer with songs from the film Ich war zu Heidelberg Student, director Wolfgang Neff. Branson wrote the premiere music for the film Die Frau nach der Mann sich Saint, director Kurt Bernhard. Premiere 28 April 1929, Berlin, Mozartsaal. Other compositions for the film were provided by Edward Kiley and Giuseppe Bex. Branson was married to the Polish-born soprano Dorothea Mansky. There is evidence of a test recording of her with a composition by her husband Anita Boston for the Berlin company Vox, whose lyrics Baby, Traum von mir, Traum sus were written by Karl Brull. As a Jewish artist, he saw his existence threatened by the strengthening of the National Socialists and was forced to emigrate with his wife and daughter Inge. He left Germany even before the Match de Greyfung in 1933. On the steamship Isle de France they sailed to America. Branson would have had to have his medical training in Germany recognized in the USA by taking another exam, which he refused to do. He preferred to play the violin in the orchestra of the Metropolitan Opera in New York, where his wife was engaged as a singer. In America, he continued to compose songs. He set poems by Robert Burns and Christina Georgina Rosti to music, as well as several texts by Thomas Grant Springer. Walther Bransen died in Bloomington, Indiana, U.S. in 1941. Work. WorldCat lists 28 titles by Branson. Stage works. For Theatergraph, operette in 3-acten. Music v. Walther Bransen. Textbuch v. Fritz Lunzer and Felix Korner. Ausgabe als MS Jetter. Verlind Schlesinger, Erscheinungsjahr 1921, 21. Leechledger as Will Rollins. Die Kleine Suzanne, text by Fritz Rotter. Ich habe ein Rendezvous with René Porges, text by Willie Rosen, Liebchen Gutnacht. Lied ext Franz Baumann. Liebling Fahr Doch and die Nordsee mit mir with Austin Edgen, text Fritz Rotter. Mein ganzer Reichtum, text by Fritz Rotter. Succinct die Jage Gutnacht. Tango with Will Meisel. Wieso ist der Walter so klug für sein Alter, text Fritz Rotter. Leechledger as Walther Bransen. Anita Boston, text Karl Broll, Karl Broll, Auf der grünen Wiese. Foxtrot with Walter Borchert, text by Fritz Rotter and Otto Stransky. Du meinst Lebens Sonnenschein. Walserlied. Hut sing Ichner für dich. Wels Boston text, Franz Baumann. Liebchen, Utnacht. Lied text, Franz Baumann and Baumann. Baumann. Wild Rosen und Becherklang. Lied text by Hans Erich Winkler. We're Lieben, we're Weißweinland with Austin Edgen. Text Fritz Rotterer for Will Rollins. Main Ganzer Reichtum / Will Rollins. Text Fritz Rotter. Franz Baumann tenor, mit Violin, Cello, Klavier. Tri-Ergen-T 1057, M339. Ich habe ein Rendezvous / Music, v. René Porges. Will Rollins, text von Willy Rosen. Will Traffena 912 MX, 16845. Alfred Beers mit seinem Orchester. Refraingesang Leo im die Manausen. Succinct I Jage Gutnacht. Tango / Will Rollins text, Robert Gilbert. Saxophon Orchester Dobry mit Gesang. BKB 6773 MX, 37561. Succinct I Jage Gut Nacht. Lied / Will Rollins text, Robert Gilbert. Serge Aronovic mit Orchester Unterleitung von Kapellmeister O. Dobrindt. Karloffen B 12121 MX, 37929-2. Succinct I Jage der Nacht. Tango / Will Rollins. Text, Rob. Gilbert. Tango Orchester Dajos Belamit Jessing. Odeon Ominous 1186 B 8428. Wieso ist der Walter so klug für sein Alter / Austin Edgen and Will Rollins, text von Fr. Rotter. Austin Edgen, Bariton mit Klavier. Electrola AM 870 BD 4735 Roman 2. Wieso ist der Walter so klug für sein Alter? Foxtrot / Will Rollins and Austin Edgen Fritz Rotter. Saxophon Orchester Dobry mit Gesang. BKB 6219 MX, 34166. Wieso ist der Walter so klug für sein Alter? / Music von Austin Edgen und Will Rollins text von F. Rotter. Austin Edgen, Bariton in Deutsch mit Klavier. Electrola Gesellschaft MBH Noahs und Berlin, EG 633 BD 4735 Roman 28 42053. Die Kleine Susan, Foxtrot / Will Rollins. Julian Fuzz mit seinem Orchester. BKB 6155 MX, 3411-2, -2, -2, -2, -2, -2. Die Kleine Susan / Will Rollins, Fritz Rotter. Austin Edgen, Bariton in Deutsch mit Klavier. Electrola Gesellschaft MBH Noahs und Berlin, EG 584 BD 4738 Roman 28 42049 for Walther Bransen. Anita. Boston / Walther Bransen. Merck Weber mit seiner Konsolakabel vom Esplanade. Karloffen P 1285 MX. 2 5693. Hut sing Ichner für dich. Vels Boston / Walther Bransen. Cable Merton. BKB 6090 MX, 33772. Hut sing Ichner für dich. Vels Boston / Walther Bransen. Orchester Dodgers Bala. Odeon Ominous 2090 B 6020. Hut sing Ichner für dich. Lied und Vels Boston / Walther Bransen. Cable Gebruder Steiner. Artifin Record 542554. Hut sing Ichner für dich. / Walther Bransen. Text, Franz Baumann. Franz Baumann tenor, Begleitung, Klavier und Dodgers Belau Violin. Odeon Ominous 2082, B 5599, 989. Wild Rosen und Becherklang, Lied/Walther Bransen, Text von Hans Erich Winkler, Max Kuttner, tenor, mit Orchesterbegleitung. Hertie record number 858 MX, 2767 B 28.8. 27. Wild Rosen und Becherklang/Walther Bransen Text, H.E. Winkler. Franz Ballmann tenor, mit Violin, Cello, Klavier. Tri Urgenty 1060 MX, 340 to 40 to 40 to 40 to 40. Wild Rosen und Becherklang/Text, Hans Erich Winkler Music, Walther Bransen. Franz Ballmann tenor, mit Klavierbegleitung, Fritz Redl. Hammerchord Formanus 2353 MX, M19304 2 at 29.11, 27. Wild Rosen und Becherklang/Walther Bransen E. Winkler. Franz Ballmann with instrumental trio. BKB 6211 MX, 34217. Wild Rosen und Becherklang/Erich Winkler, Walther Bransen. Franz Ballmann Begleitung, instrumental trio. Odeon Ominous 2156 B 5781. Liebchen, Utnacht. /Walther Bransen, Franz Ballmann. Franz Ballmann tenor mit Orchesterbegleitung. Hammerchord Formanus 2534 MX, M19860. Du Mains Lebens Sonnenschein, Walzerlied/Walther Bransen. Eugen Transky tenor, mit Orchesterbegleitung. Schau Schallplattenvertriebsjes, MBH, Berlin S42, Catalog number 217 MX, 7325, Auf der Grünen Wiese, Foxtrot/Walther Bransen, and Walter Borchardt text by Fritz Rotter and Otto Stransky. Saxophon-Orchester Dobry mit Jessing. BKB 6172, MX 34113 Art Leader in American Exile. Music of the Spring poem by Enrico Damasus. Music by Walther Bransen Verlag, New York, Sprague Coleman, c. 1938. Music of the Spring. When I Am Dead, My Dearest poem by Christina Rosti. Music by Walther Bransen Verlag, New York, Sprague Coleman, c. 1940. Veröffentlichung, Marian Anderson Collection of Printed Music. The Forest Trees Are Sighing. Song for Voice and Piano Poem by Alice Matalev. Music by Walther Bransen Verlag, New York, Sprague Coleman, c. 1940. Veröffentlichung, Marian Anderson Collection of Printed Music. Peace Comes to Me. Song for Voice and Piano Poem by Philura E. Scalander. Music by Walther Bransen. Verlag, New York, Sprague Coleman, c. 1940. Veröffentlichung, Marian Anderson Collection of Printed Music. There Shall Be Music When You Come Music. Walther Bransen. Lyrics by Bertita Harding Verlag, New York, Broadcast Music, Inc. Word Aufgeführt. In Concertsaal, Dorothy Hodgkin Dorsey presents Lot Lehmann, prima donna soprano, Metropolitan Opera Lauritz Melchior, leading tenor, Metropolitan Opera in joint recital, Constitution Hall Tuesday evening. Nov. 18, 1941, at 8:30 o'clock. Mr. Paul Ulanowski at the piano for Ememi. Lehmann, Mr. Ignace Strasvogel at the piano for Mr. Melchior. In Radio VGL. The Post-Radio Highlights, Thursday Dec. 4, 1941 Washington, Eastern Standard Time. 9:30 WL America Preferred, Lauritz Melchior, tenor. With Wallenstein's Orchestra, There Shall Be Music When You Come, Walther Bransen. Schallplattenaufzeichnung, Columbia 17353d, published 1942 VGL. Yale University's Library. Recording selection. The documents can all be found on YouTube. Hutzing Ichner for Ditch. Vels Boston by Walther Bransen, played by the Merton Chapel D.I. Dodgos Belab. BKB 6090 Roman 2 MX. 33772 1927 27. Die Kleine Suzanne. Foxtrot Will Rollins. Julian Fuzz mit seinem Orchester. BKB 6155 MX. 3411 minus 2, 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 minus 2. Liebling, Fardock, and die Nordsee mit Mer. Music von Osten Egen und Will Rollins. Text von F. Rotter, F. Rotter, Rotter, F. Rotter, F. Rotter, F. Rotter, F. Rotter, Rotter. Osten Egen. Bariton in Deutsch mit Klavier. Electrola EG 461 Matter. BW 934. Wir lieben Egen und Branson. Text by Fritz Rotter Osten Egen. Bariton in Deutsch mit Klavier. Electrola EG 461. BW 935 Roman 2 off. 28 March 1927. Wieso ist der Walther so klug für sein Alter? Music von Osten Egen und Will Rollins. Text von F. Rotter, F. Rotter, Rotter, F. Rotter, F. Rotter, F. Rotter, F. Rotter, Rotter. Osten Egen. Bariton in Deutsch mit Klavier. Electrola EG 633 Matter. BD 4000. 735 Roman 2. Detail ein deutscher Tanz by W. Carlos Walther Bransen Saxophon Orchester. Stradivari Record Electro, E2049 Ka. 1928. Succinct Ijage Gutnatcht. Tango Rollins Gilbert Paul Godwin Tanz Orchester mit Deutschem, Refraingesang, Leo Manosen. Polydor B 51312/NR, 22603. Berlin, 1930, 1930. Recordings. Attacket Box 3580 Hutzing Ickner für Dich mit Franz Baumann. Attacket Odeon Ominous 2082 B Hutzing Ickner für Dich with Franz Baumann. Attacket Odeon Ominous 2155 Hick or zu Heidelberg Student mit Franz Baumann. Kunstlerpostcard von Werner Feueter AD Film Ich war zu Heidelberg Student 1927 Verlag Ross. Kunstlerpostcard Franz Baumann der beliebt Rundfunktenor singt jetzt nur noch für Schallplatten der Deutschen Grammophon Aktiengesellschaft.